Hey, you guys. It is Thursday, March 7th. I figure I better get something else on my channel because I only have one introduction video so far. I don't have anyone to interview yet. I appreciate all the subscribers that I have. Um, I need more, so if y'all can pass the word along, that would be great. And I'm not going to tell my story today because that would take way too long. Oh, I wanted to show you a couple things real quick. You notice I'm sporting my SPTV necklace that I made. I have one right here. Here. It's a SPTV on a leather cord, adjustable cord. If anybody is interested in buying one of these, they can you can email me. My email is in my description box. Oh, and I wanted to show you this rabbit that I'm sculpting. It's kind of cool. I'm trying to, how do I change this? Well, anyway, can you see the rabbit? I don't even know if I'm getting it in the frame or not. Anyway, I sculpted that rabbit. It's almost finished. She doesn't have a name yet. But anyway, about a couple of years ago, I was in a really bad place, and I decided it was time for me to write my life story, write a book. and so I started, and eventually I put it down because it's so much work to write a book, especially at my age. I mean, that's a lot of years I have to tell about. I started making my jewelry, and I just haven't picked it back up. But the other day I ran across my rough draft, and so I'm going to read the first part of it, and it will tell you a little bit more about me. I don't have a name for it yet. I was thinking of calling it Beyond Pain. I was in so much pain. I mean, I still am, but I'm not quite as bad as I was. Anyway, it's kind of messy, so if I stumble and fumble and bumble around a little bit while I'm trying to read this, just please forgive me. Here it goes. It's June 13th, 2022, the eve of my only sister's 58th birthday. I know I should call her, and I want to call her, but I'm scared. So scared. I'm afraid she will reject me like she did 3 years prior. Like my mother did, like my dad did, like my whole family did. The separation was more than I could bear. I couldn't take it any longer. I found myself crying out to God, to the universe, to anyone, anything that would listen, that would hear me, hear my pain. I was in a too familiar place. A place I didn't belong in, a place I didn't want to stay in. It's a place so odd and so foreign, so yuck. After 3 years in this place, I was trying to make sense of it all, but I couldn't. How the hell, at the ripe old age of 57, did I land under the 7th Street overpass of Interstate 35 in downtown Austin, Texas, knowing that that had become my new home? But there aren't any houses here. There's no addresses. There's no yards, no air conditioning, no bathrooms, no lawns to cut, no children playing, and no trees. It made me wonder, how much hate can a mother have for her own daughter, her disabled daughter, me? My mother, without warning, without care, without any compassion, empathy, and most of all, void of any love, angrily and spitefully put me out of our home. But more than that, she took my 15-year-old son from me. My heart daily reminds me of the greatest of all losses. It has a hole so huge that I fall into it, tumbling, plunging into the great abyss that I'm somehow supposed to avoid. The walls around my thoughts are falling in on me so hard and so heavy that I'm an inch away from the final crush. The pain is beyond pain. It's a pain so great that it doesn't even have a name. Can someone please tell me what it's called? Tell me what this pain is called, so maybe, just maybe, I can figure out how to stop it, change it, bury it. I know that my life, me, Kelly, am not supposed to be in this anguish. So I whisper, happy birthday, sis. Happy birthday. And the sky is still blue. The grass is still green, and life goes on. By February of 2019, my mother had already turned on me. She had launched her plan, unbeknownst to me, of course. She had long stopped treating me like a person with an addiction problem, who, by the way, was on her way to rehab the following week. She had let hate rule her heart by then. Her hate ruled her words, her actions, her thoughts, and even her plans for me. I had no clue she had, in her heart and head, come to truly hate me. I mean, how could I ever know something like that? I never thought a mother could have such hate for her own child, that she could throw her child away like trash. I mean, I know she was very angry at me because that was very apparent. When your own mother pushes you out of your wheelchair twice in prior weeks, and when she can spew the most evil words at you and your son, words so horrible that when we told her what she had said to us the next day, she didn't believe us. Of course she didn't believe us, because who would care to admit that they were capable of saying such ugly, hateful, and cruel things? Words so harmful that they cut to your soul. Did she not believe her words were harmful? Or did she think we could just forget them and act like everything was okay? She couldn't apologize for them because she didn't believe she said the things that she did. In her mind, we were liars, apparently. She never remembered what she said, did, or how she acted. How could she? Alcoholics of her caliber and age often don't remember these things, or even know how they got home, right? Sorry. She never could or would take responsibility for her drinking. She was too proud, too haughty. She thinks a lot of herself and has no time for most people. They just don't meet up to her standards, and she has very high standards for everyone, especially her daughters. The only one she doesn't inflict these standards on is herself. She allows herself to treat others so horrible that it's embarrassing. The things she permits herself to say to people is atrocious. I remember one night, my son was around 13, and he had one of his best friends over to spend the night. The friend's mother was white and the father was black. I'm so sorry. So every night after work, my mom went out for a glass of wine or a margarita. So when she arrived home that night, she was her usual drunk self. She immediately found something to get angry at. It could be a glass left in the sink or the trash can left at the curb, but it was always it was always something so unimportant and insignificant that it was truly pathetic, her overreaction. Anyway, she lashed out at my son and his friend in such a tizzy that she even had the nerve to call my son's friend a nigger. My heart literally sank. My son's mouth dropped open, and his friend didn't even react. How does a grown woman allow herself to spew evil like she does, especially to a child? I was in shock. I really was. I knew she was an angry drunk, and I knew that she was very judgmental of people, and I knew that her heart was hard, but she showed a part of herself that really surprised me that night. I felt bad for her. It was sad to see my own mother have real hate in her heart of hearts. She had become a shell of a human, and she was about to unload every ounce of anger, hate, and evil out on me. She had decided to give me every bad, horrible, mean, nasty, uncaring, unloving part of herself. She made sure to keep her plan to herself, though. Wouldn't even give me a heads up so I could make plans and not end up homeless. She knowingly sent me to that great big chasm. She kicked me and pushed me into the great abyss that my heart would eventually become. So here I am. I must write my story. It's the only thing I have to give right now. It's all that I know to do right now. I sure don't know how to get out of this dark hole, or I would, of course. I figure as I write my story, I'll stumble, cry, hurt, and cry some more. I'll have good memories and bad memories. I'll relive the absolute best day of my life, and I'll relive the most horrid days as well. But by tackling this great task and being brutally honest, even when it gets hard, and it will get hard, at least I'll have a chance to figure out what to call this pain that has no name. My papers are so messed up. So, let's see. Pain that has no name. Let's see. It's a pain so bad that it has no name. I will be able to get out of this place, the place I don't want to be, the place I shouldn't be, the place I feel I'm forced to be. My life reads like an action movie, a novel, a drama, a horror flick. It bounces around like a ball, out of control, between the seams of my decades. The author, the director, the star, and my co-stars all play our parts in the roles I give them as I pen my story, the way I remember it, the way I lived it. This is my story, after all, not theirs. Therefore, there will be players that disagree with me, that will call me a liar, because they have already made it clear that I don't remember things correctly. To him, to this narcissist, I say, I remember what happened to me. You don't have to. This is my story. You go write your own. To my son, the only person who has ever made me happy, and the reason I have known what truly loving another person is, I encourage you, son, to read my words with the understanding that you will read things that may hurt you, but please know that's absolutely not my intention. I intend on coming out of this with great understanding, direction, empathy, forgiveness, and wisdom, not only for myself, but for you and for us. I pray not only for myself, but for you, dear reader, any of you who know the pain that is greater than pain, the pain that's so big that it has no name. I pray that by telling my story, you will not only be encouraged to tell your trauma story on my channel, but that we can and will find vindication, understanding, healing, a new direction, forgiveness, and most of all, love. Love for self, love for others, and love for life. So, I think I missed a tiny part, but it's not real important. But anyway, so like I said, I need some more subscribers. I want to try to go live, and I need someone to reach out to me to come on and talk about, if you don't want to talk about your trauma story, then we can talk about anything, really. I think next I'm going to show you around my studio and show you some projects I'm working on. I'm a stained glass artist, but I don't know if I told you, I've been making jewelry for about 15 years. I work with silver and copper and beads and semi-precious stones and, polymer clay. About a year ago I started messing with that. I have a lot of Swarovski crystals. I went to the store yesterday and just got a bunch more. But my studio is not that big, and it's a little bit messy. Not too bad, but anyway, I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day. Talk to you later.